Faith, family, and guns. Well, it has been a good week in the Supreme Court. In the last 12 hours, we've been cussed out, disrespected, yelled at, and told more ungodly things than you can shake a stick at. And we're isolated at home with COVID. Must mean we're right over the target.
Big gun 6, this is Isaiah 6:8 action. Blackjack, I need a safe house, next mission time now. Full send, over.
First and foremost, please know that no matter where you stand on any of these issues, I do in fact love you all. That being said, forward march. Psalm 127 tells us, verses 3 through 5, "Behold, children are a heritage from the Lord, the fruit of the womb a reward. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior are the children of one's youth. Blessed is the man who fills his quiver with them. He shall not be put to shame when he speaks with his enemies at the gate." In 52 years, I've never made apology for my pro-life stance. I've spoken about it publicly for over 30 years because it's something that I wholeheartedly believe in. I was just a kid when Roe went into effect, just 3 years old. But what I didn't realize at the time was that the conversation that should have been had just been put on hold indefinitely by the government. In doing that, it would chip away at men's rights as well in the process. We were taken out of the equation by the government. Our accountability was eased off the table, wrapped up in a napkin like something to be hidden, discarded, while simultaneously a shiny sterling silver service tray produced government bennies, cash vouchers, and such. And the government became the sugar daddy to the single mother. In doing that, the government chipped away at the rights of women as well, treating them as though they weren't the adult human beings that they were and are. They stole their accountability and even a part of their identity as they fell right in line with being married to the government. As a freshman in high school in South Florida, I was the new kid on the street, and I remember my neighbor being described by the local kids as Dr. Death. He was an abortion doctor. I used to stand at the bus stop with his daughter in the morning. I remember her being very timid and very uncomfortable about her father's profession. I remember telling her that not everyone judges people based off of their parents. But her reply sticks with me to this day. She said, "Are you kidding me? I'm Dr. Death's daughter." Somehow his work had become her identity. Abortion hurts in many ways, both seen and unseen. How very sad. She told me they were an older Jewish family from old money in the area, and that obviously her father was a well-known doctor. Side note, I was raised with a pretty big influence from the Greatest Generation, and I was told story after story as a kid about the mass extermination of the Jews during the Holocaust. I even met an Auschwitz survivor once. And I just couldn't reconcile, even as a teenager, I just couldn't reconcile how this man could participate in the mass extermination of his own people again, even under the guise of medicine. Look, folks, it takes two to tango, and if you do, and you don't decide to wrap that rascal and there are consequences, then so be it. You have nobody to blame but yourself, and no one's accountable but you. In Monopoly, there's a get-out-of-jail-free card, but there's no such get-out-of-your-responsibilities because you failed to plan card in life. In 1965, the Supreme Court case Griswold v. Connecticut established that married couples have the right to purchase and use contraception. There is a method for nearly every body and lifestyle. In fact, there are about 12 methods total and counting. Those methods range from non-hormonal to hormonal, single use to long lasting use, and most of the time these days, they're free. To not use protection is lazy. It's irresponsible. And quite frankly, it's not very American. We're better than that. We protect the innocent. America sends us halfway around the world for decades at a time to do that very thing. It's about time we start doing it here at home. It's not the government's job to clean up your messes because you have no personal accountability. Far too many and for far too long have used abortion as a form of birth control. This is evil at its very heart. And for those who want to claim the rape argument, that's less than 1% of the national total. Then there's the ectopic pregnancies. That percentage is around the same. However, I really consider that more of a medical emergency. Our ministry has worked with dozens of couples who haven't been able to bear children. Amazing, loving, and giving people right here in your neighborhood, right here in America, who would give their right arm to raise that child. I promise you that. Psalm 139, verse 13 tells us, "For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb." That's our story. And the parents aren't off the hook either. Last night on the news, I saw a mother attending a protest as a pro-choice advocate while standing next to her 10-year-old daughter. This is what she said.
For my daughter, I want her to be able to have the choice if she ever needs to make that choice one day. And it's a right. It's been taken away. It's not okay.
I can't even imagine the mixed messages that this young child is getting, who I've cropped out of frame, even though her mother took her to a public protest and put her face on the evening news. This is not what God wants. I see nothing more here than a woman afraid to raise her child in such a way as to prevent this from ever even being an issue in the future. She's already failing. She's already succumbing to society. We were not created with a spirit of fear, but with a spirit of boldness. Know this. At the end of the day, abortion was never a legitimate constitutional right, as we've seen of late. It was only a constitutionally protected choice. Our founding document mentions abortion not once. The Constitution was never meant to be bastardized in this way. And thankfully, I've lived to see that even the highest court in the land can see the error of its ways and alter course. That, my friends, is accountability. And to every woke pastor, faith leader, youth pastor, church, and fake-ass paper Christians that's been silent this whole time, you can come out from where you've been cowering. Once again, God did the work for you. FYI, God hates a coward. If we're smart about this, we'll be able to sit down around our dinner tables, community centers, and state legislative sessions and have those hard conversations. You were made for this, for such a time as this. These conversations, they're about 50 years overdue.
We were cleared hot at this time. Smoke Vet 6, this is Smoke Jumper 7. Roger that. Next mission, time now.